ሰላም ባላችሁበት ይድረስ ውድ የአእምሮ ልጅ ቤተሰቦች፣ ዛሬ ስለ ለውጥ ልንነጋገር ነው። መለወጥ የምትፈልጉና የማትፈልጉም ጭምር፣ እንዲሁም የመለወጥን መንገድ የጀመራችሁና ሌሎችን መለወጥ የምትፈልጉ ሁሉ አብራችሁን ቆዩ። ለአንዳንዱ የተስፋ ብርሃን፣ ለአንዳንዱ የፍርሃት ጨለማ የሚያመጣው ለውጥ ትርጓሜው እንዳገባቡና እንደተለዋዋጩ ምንነት የተለያየ መልክ ቢኖረውም በጠቅላላው የዓይነቶች መቀየር ወይም መተካት ነው። በቀላሉ ለውጥ በተለመደው መንገድ ነገሮችን የምናከናውንበትን ሂደት መቀየር ወይም ደግሞ መቀየር የሚያመጣው ውጤት ነው። የህይወት ዑደትና የኑሮ እንቅስቃሴ እስካለ ድረስ ተመልክተን የምናስተውለው ከእይታችን ውጭ የሆነውም ለውጥ በየቅጽበቱ ይፈጠራል። ለውጥ የማይቀር እንደመሆኑ መጠን ወደድንም ጠላንም ተቀበልንም አልተቀበልንም የለውጥ አዎንታዊ ወይም አሉታዊ ተጽዕኖች በፍጹም አይቀሩልን። እኛ መለወጥ ባንፈልግ እንኳን ለውጥ በራሷ መንገድ ይዛን ትነጉዳለች። የተሻለ ገቢን ማግኘት ካልመረጥክ ለውጥ ወደ ድህነት ትለውጣለች። የተስተካከለ የሰውነት ክብደትን ካልመረጥክ ለውጥ ጥሩ አድርጋ በስብ ታደልባለች። ጤንነትን ካልመረጥክ ለውጥ ጊዜና ገንዘባችንን ለሆስፒታል ወጪ እንድታደርግ ትፈርድባለች። ነገር ግን እነዚህ ነገሮች ሁሉ የሚሆኑት እኛ መሪውን ለለውጥ አሳልፈን እስከሰጠን ድረስ ብቻ ነው። መሪውን ጨብጠን ወደ ፈለግነውና ወደሚያስፈልገን መንገድ መጓዝ ደግሞ የኛ ምርጫ መሆን አለበት። ታዲያ የዛሬው ጌታችን ምን አይነቱን ለውጥ ገፍተን ለየትኛው በር እንክፈት? እንዴት ነው መቀበልስና የተቀበልነው ወይም ገፍቶ የመጣብንን ለውጥ እንዴት ከራሳችን ጋር እናስማማው በሚሉት ያተኩረው። የለውጥ አይነቶች ብዙ የስነ ልቦናና የስነ አእምሮ ምሁራን እንደየመደባቸው በየራሳቸው መንገድ ከፋፍለው ሲያጠኑና ሲያስተምሩ ቆይቷል። አንዳንዱም 7፣ አንዳንዱም 5፣ ሌላው 3 ቦታ እያደረገ ተንትነው ጽፈዋል፣ አስተምረዋል። እኛ ግን ዛሬ ለስብዕና ግንባታችን በሚጠቅም መልኩ በሁለት ከፍለን ልናይ ወደናል። ይህ የለውጥ አይነት እኛ መቆጣጠርም ሆነ ማስቀረት የማንችለው ሂደት ነው። ማለትም ጊዜና ወቅት በተፈራረቁ ቁጥር ተፈጥሯዊ ሆነ ተፈጥሯዊ ባልሆኑ ኩነቶች በመጠኑ ለማሳደግ አንዱ ከአንዱ ለማሻገር ወይም ደግሞ ሙሉ ለሙሉ ለመቀየር የሚመጣልን ወይም ደግሞ የሚመጣብን የለውጥ አይነት ነው። ለምሳሌ በዕድሜ መጨመር የሚመጡ አካላዊና አእምሯዊ የእድገት ለውጦች፣ እንዲሁም በአንጻሩ በዕድሜ መጨመር ወይም ደግሞ ከእርጅና ጋር ተያይዘው የሚከሰቱ ለውጦች፣ ለምሳሌ ሽበት፣ የቆዳ መሸብሸብ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከዕድሜ መጨመር ጋር ተያይዘው የሚመጡ ህመሞች ናቸው። ይህ የለውጥ አይነት የለውጥ መሪውን ራሳችን ጨብጠን ወደሚያስፈልገንና ወደምንፈልገው አቅጣጫ የምንጓዝበት አይነት ነው። ይህ ለውጥ የሚጸንሰው ከማሰብ ሲሆን ተስፋን ባዘለ የእቅድ ማዕፀን ነፍስ ዘርቶ የሚወለደው ደግሞ በድርጊት ነው። ብዙዎቻችን ያለንን የአኗኗር ሁኔታ፣ የገቢ መጠን፣ የሰውነት ክብደት፣ ከሰዎች ጋር ያለን ግንኙነት የመሳሰሉትን ነገሮች የመለወጥ ፍላጎት አለን። ግን የመለወጡን መነሻና ጅማሬ ሂደትና አፈጻጸም በተሳካ ቀመር ስንቀምረው ነው የተፈለገውና የምንፈልገውን አይነት ለውጥ ማግኘት የምንችለው። ቅድም እንዳልነው ለውጥ ወዴት ሊያመራና የት ሊያደርስ እንደሚችል የሚያውቅ የለምና በግምት ላይ ተመርኩዞ ወይም በተስፋ የተመላ ወይም ደግሞ በስጋት የተከበበ ነው። ለዚህም ነው ጥቂት ተስፋዎች በስኬት የሚደመድቡትና ብዙዎች ህልሞች ባክን የሚቀሩት። ስለዚህ እኛ ላለመባከንና ወደ ግባችን ለመድረስ ለእነዚህ ጥያቄዎች መልስ ልናዘጋጅ ይገባናል። ለውጡ ምን አይነት ነው? የምሾፍረው ነው ወይስ የሚነዳኝ? በመጠኑ ማሳደግ ያለብኝ ነው ወይስ ከአንድ ወደ አንዱ የማሻግረው ወይስ ሙሉ ለሙሉ መቀየር የሚጠበቅብኝ? መለወጥ የፈለግኩትን ጉዳይ ከምንና ከየት ልጀምር? በመለወጥ ሂደት ውስጥ ምን አዳዲስ ነገሮች ሊመጡ ይችላሉ? የሚመጡትንስ አዳዲስ ነገሮች እንዴት ልቋቋም እችላለሁ? የሚሉትን ልንመልስ ይገባናል። ቀጥሎም ለመለወጥ ማስወገድ ያሉብንን ነገሮች ለይቶ ማወቅ አስፈላጊ ነው። ለምሳሌ ያለ እቅድ ድንገታዊ የሆነ አካሄድን በማቆም ለምናዘጋጀው የጊዜ ቀመር ታምኖ መፈጸም፣ እንዲሁም ስጋትና ፍርሃትን በማስወገድ በተስፋና በድፍረት መተካት ግድ ይለናል። ለምን ቢሉ ለውጥኛ በማንጠብቀውና ባላሰብን ሁኔታ ሊከሰት ይችላልና ነው። ንብረትና ገንዘባችንን እንደምናስተዳድር ሁሉ ለውጦች ሲፈጠሩ ለውጡን በአግባቡ ማስተናገድ ካልቻለን ያላስፈላጊ ጭንቀትና ጉዳት ራሳችንን ልንዳረግ እንችላለን። የሚገጥሙን ያልተጠበቁም ሆነ የሚጠበቁ ለውጦች ሕይወታችን ላይ አሉታዊ ተጽዕኖ ከመፍጠራቸው በፊት ለውጡን ተቀብለን እንዴት ማስተናገድ እንችላለን የሚለውን ለመረዳት ደግሞ ዋነኛውና ወሳኙ ነገር ለውጥ አይቀሬ መሆኑን አምኖ መቀበልና ቀድሞ መጠበቅ ነው። ለውጥ የሕይወታችን አንድ ገጽታ ነውና የማይቀር መሆኑን አምኖ መቀበል ተገቢ ነው። ለሚመጣው ለውጥ በጎ ምላሽ እንድንመልስ በእጅጉ ይረዳናል። ለውጥን ቀድመን መጠባበቃችንም ደግሞ በበለጠ መልኩ እንድንዘጋጅና ለለውጡ የተሻለ መልስ እንድንሰጥ ይረዳናል። እናስተውል፣ የተሻለ ለውጥ ከቀደሙ አሉታዊ ድርጊቶች መላቀቂያና ወደ አዎንታዊ ሁኔታዎች መሸጋገሪያ ነው። ከጥላቻ ወደ ፍቅር፣ ከፍርሃት ወደ ተስፋ፣ በጭፍን ከማየት ወደ ማስተዋል፣ ከስሜታዊነት ወደ ስክነት፣ በዘፈቀደ ከማለፍ ወደ ታቀደ አኗኗር የሚደረግ እርምጃ ነው። ለብዙ ሺህ ኪሎ ሜትሮች የለውጥ ጉዞ ደግሞ አንዲት የመነሻ እርምጃ ታላቅ ዋጋ አላት። በነፃነት እናስብ። ምናልባት በጎ ውጤት የሌለው ለውጥ ቢዳስሰን እንኳን በሂደቱ በምናገኘው ትምህርት ልንጽናናና የለውጥ ጥሩ ተማሪ ልንሆን ይገባናል።
Let me tell you about a little boy that I know. A little boy who grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Born in the mid-'60s into segregation, attended his first and second grade at a segregated school. A young boy who had an intense desire and appetite to exceed not only in athletics but in academics. A little boy who was the first in his family to attend college. A little boy who was raised by a single parent in public housing. After going to college, that little boy worked for some Fortune 50 companies. Once he became a little disgruntled with corporate America and the politics, what he decided to do was to move back to Wilmington and start a business that he had no knowledge about. A bail bonding business. Do you know what bail bondsmen do for a living? Well, because he's a lifelong student, as a bondsman, he decided to go back and to earn a master's in business administration. He asked himself after that, what next? That's when he decided to pursue and earn a PhD in leadership and organizational change. That little boy is me. I've had many little misses in my life, and with those little misses have brought me some pain and discomfort. I remember being mischievous, running through my grandmother's house, being disobedient, as I often did as a little boy. I decided that I was going to make a mad dash for the front door. In doing so, there was a little miss. I fell on my left side, and I broke my left wrist. Another near miss that I had in life was once I decided to re-enter corporate America after earning the PhD, I took a position in Columbus, Ohio. Well, I would often travel from Columbus to Wilmington, and ordinarily I would make my connection from Columbus to Charlotte to Wilmington. I decided that I was going to change my itinerary and connect through New York. Well, as fate would have it, I missed my connecting flight. I either had to stay in the airport in New York or negotiate my way to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I ended up staying in the airport. A little discomfort. Little misses in our life can have small or significant impacts that change our lives forever. What I'd like to leave you today is with 3 points. And those 3 points can have significant impact in our lives. Often we use words interchangeably thinking that they are the same when they're not. You know, one of the phrases that I hear in society and I hear in educational institutions as well as in corporate America today is the phrase of diversity and inclusion. And oftentimes we think that they are the same. Take a look at those wonderful M&Ms, so sweet, all the different colors. But you know what? They all taste the same. So diversity and inclusion is not the same. Diversity is various or something that is different. Inclusion means you bring something or someone together, you include them in the process in where they feel valued as well as they add value. See, diversity is the ingredients. Inclusion is the mix. Inclusion is that disruptive wave that brings everything together. Think about Wrightsville Beach and going down and looking at the waves as they pound upon the shore. As they pound upon the shore, whatever's on the shore, it takes it back and it mixes it all together. See, inclusion is, diversity is not the finish line. It's just the starting line. Inclusion is when you get everyone together and you strive to make all the same. When we use diversity and inclusion and we think of them synonymously, what happens is there are near misses that happen. Those near misses impact our social policies, our educational systems, and our workplace as we work to make the world a better place. As I worked in Columbus, Ohio, I did a little bit of research on the company that I was going to work for and the office and the people, trying to figure out who was going to report to me. Well, what I found out was that I was a North Carolina Tar Heel going to an Ohio State office. How were the Buckeyes and the Tar Heels going to make it together? Well, I can tell you, through a lot of diversity and inclusive efforts, we doubled the revenue of that particular division in 5 years. Let's move on to another point, another controversial and complicated point regarding healthcare. Well, in healthcare, we think about equity and equality, and oftentimes we use equity and equality interchangeably, and they're not. Equity means to understand the needs of the people and to give the people what they need when they need it. Equality is sameness, giving everyone the same. So let's take a look at equality in the world of track and field. We treat all the runners the same. We put them on the same starting line. That seems fair. But the inside lane, the runner has to run a longer distance than the runner on the outside. That's not fair. When we look at it from the standpoint of equity, what we do is we stagger the lanes, or we stagger the start, so that the runner on the inside lane has the same distance to run as on the outside. Let's take a look at equity and equality and how it impacts our lives, because it does every day. In the healthcare system, we want everyone to have health care. We want everyone to have access to it regardless of their ability to pay. As a result of that, we make assumptions. We make assumptions that all people speak the same language, that their sexual orientation is the same, that their gender is the same, and that they live with the same social and economic standards that everyone else. That's just not the case. We make assumptions that everyone has access to nutritious foods. We make the assumption that health care is equal for all, and it's not. You know, from an equity perspective, what we have to do is take a look at health care and tailor certain programs such that those programs give those people access so that they can be healthy. I don't want you to think I'm a socialist, because I'm not. But what I'm saying is equity makes society better as a whole. As we give people what they need when they need it, then we can begin to work on equality. See, equity and equality are extremely important. We need to pay close attention to both. You know, I've explored diversity and inclusion in the workplace. I've explored and taken a look at controversial topic of health care and equity and equality. It's interesting. What other controversial topic can I discuss? How many remaining toes can I step on in this room? Change versus transformation. This is about change, making waves. Personal change, social change, global change. It's all needed. And guess what? Change versus transformation, those two words are used synonymously, but they're not. Change fixes the past. Transformation births a new future. With change, basically what you're looking at improving the past, because essentially, change is a comparison to what existed. Change can be reversed. Think about going on a diet at the first of the year. You know, we have those New Year's resolutions where we want to lose 15 or 20 pounds and become healthier. Somewhere in July and August, those 15 or 20 pounds are back. And that's because we didn't make the necessary paradigm shift to transform ourselves. We rooted everything in change. See, change is nothing but a reconditioned or approved version of the past. As I said, transformation is about the future, giving birth to something that didn't exist. Giving birth to something that didn't exist. That's transformation. Transformation is not rooted in the past. Transformation is creating a new being. For all of you who are looking to make changes in your life, I would grant that you use transformation, and Wilmington especially. Is it time that we recognize our difference as a source of increased perception rather than barriers? Is it time, Wilmington, that we all get off our collective butts and begin contributing and being constructive rather than denouncing and being destroying? Is it time to come together in a spirit of communication, cooperation, and coordination? Wilmington, I ask you, is it time that we recognize and celebrate the human spirit? Is it time, Wilmington, that we tap into this incredible source of unlimited potential? Is it time, Wilmington, that we redirect our energy and our time in efforts toward a more constructive and meaningful purpose, that we minimize impact of our little misses? See, change versus transformation and the impact of the little misses that it have in our lives. We need to consider this. We need to take a look at equity, not just equality. We need to take a look at inclusion, not just diversity. And we definitely need to take a look at transformation versus change. The time is right, Wilmington, to create a new city, to make waves, to become what we should be. Thank you.